So why do you think you deserve 8 years for pulling a weapon on somebody and taking their items? Do you love your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you love your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say your girlfriend and daughter are at their home minding their business, and one of her girlfriends comes over because she has a baby and she needs milk and all of the, maybe some clothes for her baby. And your girlfriend say, oh, my daughter is now 2 months old. I have some 1 month old clothes. Here you go. Here's some clothing. Here's some money for you. And then that friend's like, oh, thank you. And then that friend pulls a gun on your girlfriend with your baby there and takes her items. What do you think that person should deserve? And that's an aggravated robbery that she would have just committed. And the range of punishment for that is 5 to 99 years or life in prison. What do you think that person deserves? He's, just so everybody can know, in the PSI report, he says he caught an Uber to his friend's house, the victim, and the victim knew he was struggling, didn't have any money and clothing. And so the victim gave him money and clothing and paid for an Uber for them to leave. And then lo and behold, he wakes up and he has charges for aggravated robbery. And he doesn't know why, because he didn't rob anybody. So you all may want to discuss whether or not this should be a jury trial. So
no, Judge, we don't want this to be a jury trial.
All right, so I'll let you all, he says he needs to read the defendant entered a plea on October 23rd of guilty to the offense of aggravated robbery. According to the plea bargain agreement, there are no applications and punishment is be assessed at a cap of 16 years in the prison. And there are several cases that are being taken into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
We have, Your Honor. We have, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, I note in the PSI report things that your client has said, which is that he has no idea where these charges came from. And specifically, what he says in the PSI report, and the reason why I want this on the record is because I want to make sure that your client actually wishes to continue with this plea. What he said, as to the instant offense, the defendant stated he was at his home on this date when the victim reached out to him and wanted to hang out. He stated that he agreed to go over to his home. He stated that he got an Uber to the victim's home and a friend ended up going with him. He stated while at the victim's home, he offered him some clothes and money. He stated that the victim knew he was struggling and offered to help him. He stated that the victim even allowed him to wear his jewelry. He stated that he left the location and went to a nearby park. He stated that he did not end up going back home. He stated that the victim sent his friend some money so that they could Uber back home. He stated that later that day, the victim contacted him and told him that he needed his items back. He stated that he ignored the victim. He stated that he later found out that he had a warrant for this case when he attempted to make a payment to his bondsman for another case he has pending. He stated that he called the victim and confronted him about the allegations. He stated that he was later arrested for the instant offense. The defendant denies the allegations of him using or having a gun, but did admit to keeping the victim's clothes and other items.
And that is correct. It is in the PSI report, and I'll ask the court to also focus on page 5 of the victim impact statement. So, Judge, there was multiple felony cases that were plea bargained in this case that the state took into consideration and dismissed, and that's why we went forward with this case. So my client has stated that he doesn't want to go forward with this case. There were many concessions made by the state of Texas on this particular defendant, so that's why we want to go forward.
All right, Mr. Ramos, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Nicholas Ray Ramos.
All right, Mr. Ramos, do you wish to go forward with this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You do not want a jury trial?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any witnesses from either side?
No, Your Honor, we were informed that the witnesses made PSI statements that were contained in the PSI.
All right, then any witnesses defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument. State.
Judge, there are numerous cases that have been taken into consideration in order to reach this case, or in order to reach this plea agreement. I know that the defendant is young, pretty early in his life, but in that short amount of time that he's been an adult, he has racked up numerous arrests and various cases, again, were taken into consideration. I think that it's the nature of those other charges and the fact that even while on probation or deferred on those charges, he still was picking up other cases. My understanding is that he was on probation when this all happened. So we would ask that you hit the cap, Judge, of 16 years.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, obviously my client is very young, and he'll admit that he has made some serious mistakes. He has a young daughter now, that he has not even had a chance to see at this point. One of the things I want the court to consider, and when the court pronounces sentence in this case, the co-defendant in this case was sentenced to 8 years TDC. And we think that's appropriate, given the circumstances. Yes, my client was involved and I shouldn't say was involved, but has been charged with other cases. The district attorney's office made a commitment to dismiss those cases, and they have done so. Judge, with respect to this particular case, the complainant's father has stated that the victim in this case was not hurt, but he did not get his property back. So in light of that, his age, we'd ask the court to consider an 8-year sentence, which is what the court saw fit when the court pronounced sentence on the co-defendant in this case.
Judge, if I may, the co-defendant was sentenced in the 187. There's a stark difference between that co-defendant and this defendant. That co-defendant did not have nearly as many cases that were being taken into consideration. So that was something that drastically changed what was happening in that situation versus this situation.
All right, and just so everyone knows, and I know both attorneys know, I look at cases individually. So, Mr. Ramos, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I've been incarcerated 8 months. I know I did what's wrong. No, whatever I did, I know it caused me to come in this courtroom today.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
My bad. I know whatever I did caused me to come in this courtroom today, and I know it caused a lot of harm to different people's families and stuff. I had more than enough time to think about what I've done. I just try to get back home to my little girl. That's it.
All right, so how old is your child?
2 months and a week and a half.
So why didn't you think about this beforehand?
Comment on it.
I'm sorry?
I have a comment on it, Your Honor.
Why are you out committing crime? I don't understand. And I'm asking you these questions because I'm trying to figure out what will be the appropriate sentence for you. The state and the defense will tell you. State and defense, they come up with their agreements. This is their agreement that I can sentence you up to 16 years in prison. So I'm asking you these questions so I can make a decision on what to sentence you to. And that's a lot of time because the range of punishment for this offense is, because they've capped it at 16, is 5 to 16 years. So that's what I can sentence you to. So I'm trying to figure out what is your thought process and why you are out here committing crimes and violent crimes. I mean, did you wake up one day? I always think of people who appeared before me when they were in elementary school. Did they wake up one day and decide, hey, I want to be a criminal?
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out, where did you go in your life that you decide, hey, I want to be a criminal? And I'm looking at your criminal history. Your criminal history is outrageous for a person your age. And I don't know if the misdemeanor, when you were placed on deferred adjudication in that case, I don't know if something could have put you on the right path from there. We have the burglary of vehicles, not vehicle. There's a lot going on. And then there's an assault bodily injury case that's pending in County Court 15. So I'm trying to figure out what is your issue?
I guess I had a bad crowd around me. I ain't really have nothing for a little while. I ain't have no structure.
Oh, don't come to me with the structure thing, because there are a lot of people who don't have structure. And when you mentioned the bad crowd, I guarantee you the person who got 8 years, when they said they were running around with a bad crowd, they were talking about you.
Yeah.
So since you brought up structure, what do you mean you don't have structure?
I ain't have nowhere to go. I ain't have no financial support.
How about getting a job?
I ain't have nothing to get a job. I was old enough to get a job, and I had more than another chance to get a job, but I have no ID. I have no social security, none of that. I done lost all that.
So why didn't you have an ID?
I lost it while I moved out the house a little while ago.
So why are you moving out the house? Don't want to follow people's rules?
Yes, ma'am.
So your lack of structure is because of you. It appears that somebody was trying to give you structure. And then in the PSI report, it says that you were going back home. So what home was this you were going to?
I was really staying with my friends and my girl at the time.
Where? With who? Who's all in the house? Her parents?
Yeah, me, my girl, her mom, her little sister, her older sister, and her brother.
All right, I still don't understand why parents allow children to live in their home and play house. Just one moment. Sorry. All right, so you can continue.
I don't understand why they would either, but I guess it was, I don't know, I guess it was because I was with her daughter and we were having a baby.
Okay, sorry. You need to put the mask down.
I don't know why they would let me stay at the house either, but I don't know. I don't know. I was with her for a little while, and I guess I had a good relationship with her family.
But you still haven't explained to me why you're going out committing a bunch of crimes. Because you were placed on deferred adjudication. And I will tell you now, whenever you're placed on deferred adjudication now, it's different from when I first started practicing. Back then it was you're on your own. But usually they will say, oh, you don't have an ID? Let us help you get your identification. Oh, you don't have this? Let us help you get this. So your response to not having your identification or having anything was to throw up your hands and start committing crimes. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with you. Do you deserve 16 years?
No, ma'am.
Oh, why not? And the question I'm asking you, your attorney will tell you, I ask a lot of people these questions. And so I want to see where your head is at. What do you think you deserve for committing an aggravated robbery, stealing from somebody who was trying to help you by giving you clothes, by giving you food, and according to you, paying for your Uber to and from their house?
Years.
Oh, okay, you're saying 8 years, because I'm not even going to interfere with attorney-client. So why do you think you deserve 8 years for pulling a weapon on somebody and taking their items? Let me put you into this situation so you can understand better. Do you love your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you love your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say your girlfriend and daughter are at their home minding their business, and one of her girlfriends comes over because she has a baby and she needs milk and all of the, maybe some clothes for her baby. And your girlfriend say, oh, my daughter is now 2 months old. I have some 1-month-old clothes. Here you go. Here's some clothing. Here's some money for you. And then that friend's like, oh, thank you. And then that friend pulls a gun on your girlfriend with your baby there and takes her items. What do you think that person should deserve? And that's an aggravated robbery that she would have just committed. And the range of punishment for that is 5 to 99 years or life in prison. What do you think that person deserves? Not talking about you, talking about the fact scenario where your girlfriend's best friend comes over, pulls a gun on her and takes items. What do you think she deserves?
The sentence,
I'm sorry, what?
more than 8 years.
More than 8 years? Well, why? Because you know what? Maybe she doesn't have her ID. Maybe she's not able to get a job. Why shouldn't she just get 8 years? And you know what? Maybe she's running around with the wrong crowd. Why shouldn't she get 8 years? Because she's with a bad crowd. She doesn't have her ID. She doesn't have a place to stay. She has a baby to take care of. So why shouldn't she get 8 years for pulling a gun on somebody and taking their items after they tried to help her? Because she's just running around with a bad crowd. She just doesn't have her ID and she just needs items for her baby. So why shouldn't she be allowed to just pull a gun on your girlfriend, take items that she wants, and then come before court and say, please just give me 8 years, or please just give me deferred adjudication because I'm running around with a bad crowd. I don't have my ID. I don't have my social security card, and I need money, and I don't have a job. You don't want that person to have 8 years because they pulled a gun on somebody you care about, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you've done in this case. You pulled a gun on somebody who was trying to help you out, and they have family members that care about them. So, do you still think you deserve 8 years? I mean, you may want it, but do you deserve it?
No, ma'am.
All right, so what do you think you deserve?
Your Honor, may I on his behalf?
No, just 1 second. I want to know, what do you think you deserve? Honestly, look into your heart. What do you think you deserve for what you did to a friend who was helping you out?
10, 12.
I'm sorry,
10 or 12.
why not the full 16? Because it's just too much time? Is it because it's just too much time for you and you can't imagine doing 16 years? All right, any questions?
I don't have questions, Your Honor. I would just ask the court to consider somewhere in the 8 to 10 year range. Judge, my client did not have family structure growing up. I think that's what he was trying to tell you. He couldn't even remember his mother's last name. His father didn't give him much support. He was out on the streets by the time he was 17. He's 19 now. So when he committed this offense, he was basically homeless. He didn't have any place to go, and I would suggest that's probably why he committed these offenses. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I mean, it's definitely wrong. Okay, but he is very young. He's not the smartest kid in the world, and I think he dropped out of school in 7th grade.
All right, why are you dropping out of school? When did you drop out of school?
7.
Why? Mask down so I can hear.
I don't know, I had gone to a fight in 7th grade and I just never went back to school because I was going to alternative and feel like going back to alternative.
All right, they sent you to alternative school because there were issues at what we would call regular school. So that's, people just don't go to alternative school because, hey, let's send them to alternative school. Usually there's some incident that has happened at regular school and you get sent to alternative school, be it for behavior or something else.
And it was a fight.
So it was a fight. So you got sent to alternative school. And when you're sent to alternative school, it's not forever.
not.
So you decided not to go back to school. Why not? Do you know in Africa, I watch a lot of TV and watch a lot of documentaries. There are students in Africa who walk to school. They don't have any shoes. They don't have any desk. They sit on the floor with one sheet of paper. They don't have uniforms because they need to pay for their uniforms to go to school. And they sit on the floor because they don't have any desks for them. There's actually an organization called Kids in Need of Desks. And what ends up happening is people give money to that organization. So they actually make desks for the children. And now they've started making shoes for the children. And if you see the smiles on their faces, just for the little things. And then here in America, you can go to school for free. And you drop out at 7th grade and commit a bunch of crimes. And now you're bringing a 2-month-old into the world and you have no way to support that 2-month-old other than being a criminal and stealing items. That's a problem. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is finding you guilty. Court has already previously taken in consideration the cases that were listed in the agreement. This is going to run concurrent with County Court Cause number 691548, 691549, 694250. Mr. Ramos, I've read the PSI with a fine-tooth comb, read the offense with a fine-tooth comb, took into consideration the things that the complainant said in the PSI. And I'm taking in consideration your age. I hope that you can get your life together. There's a $500 restitution to Beatrice Gonzalez, which was the deductible. Is there going to be any objection to the court ordering that?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right, there's to be restitution to Beatrice, Beatris. Excuse me, if y'all cannot talk on the back row behind the court reporter, if you need to speak, just move to the other end. Gonzalez, Gonzalez. And the amount of $500. And I'm just checking to make sure there's no restitution to anyone else. Is that the only restitution state in the defense?
Money wise, Your Honor, there was some property that was taken from the victim in this case that was never given back, clothing and things of that sort of thing.
All right, they didn't list an amount for restitution for that.
They didn't, Judge.
All right. All right. Court is going to sentence you to 12 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. I'll ask for the therapeutic community. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and I want to let you know the reason why I'm giving you the 12 years instead of the full 16 is because, one, I don't want you to 100% become institutionalized, because when people go to prison, it's a crapshoot whether or not they're going to be rehabilitated. And when you go to prison at your age, there are going to be a lot of influences at the prison that are not going to be good for you. And I would love it if people would go to prison and they could just do their time and not be bothered by anyone else, but you may end up being bothered by other people. You're going to have to keep your nose down. Do not become institutionalized. And while you're there, you're going to have to start thinking more about what got you there. And what got you there is not the fact that you don't have your ID or you're running around with the bad crowd, because you're part of the bad crowd. Do you understand? Do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand? Showing you what's in the Idaho trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. And I don't know if I said it previously, but there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and I'm gonna do no contact, no in-person contact.
Nicholas Ray Ramos, just 19, pled guilty to aggravated robbery with a deal capped at 16 years. But the judge paused because Ramos told the PSI officer he didn't know where the charges came from, even though he admitted keeping the victim's property. The state pushed for the full 16, citing his long arrest history and that he kept catching new cases even while on probation. Ramos apologized and said he'd been in jail 8 months and wanted to be there for his newborn daughter. But the judge grilled him hard, saying his no-structure excuse didn't justify pulling a weapon on someone who tried to help him. In the end, the judge sentenced him to 12 years, not 16, saying she didn't want him to become fully institutionalized, but made it clear this was a violent choice with real consequences. Do you think 12 years was fair, or should he have gotten the full 16? Like, share, and follow for more courtroom drama.
To withdraw the plea on the felon possession of firearm, cause number 2023 CR 4112. And I believe the state is not opposed.
State's not opposed, Judge.
All right, and you're not opposed to being a or motion, correct?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will grant the motion to withdraw. And as both parties know, if someone is not a citizen and they have not been advised on the consequences of their plea, then a withdrawal is what is needed. And so I will grant the motion to withdraw in that case. Now, next we move on to 2023 CR 3934. Are you all proceeding with the plea in that cause number?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery in that case? I believe the no contest plea was already entered, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, and count 2 was waived. And according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is silent on his application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections?
No.
And have you had a chance to speak with an immigration attorney on behalf of Mr. Morales?
Yes, Judge. Sarah May is here. She's present in the courtroom as well. And she's also submitted to me a Padilla letter that admonishes Mr. Morales on his immigration consequences. And if the court wants me to go into that right now, or if the court wants me to go into it a little bit later, it's up to the board.
All right, so with regards to the waiver and admonitions, the defendant checked the box that he is a United States citizen. So my understanding, he is not a citizen, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so then the paperwork needs to be changed. So if you all can change this and initial it, please.
Yes. My initials and put your initials there.
To the bottom.
But you're not.
Sorry, sir, my vote's here. Oh,
Okay.
Just.
And what I'm going to do so that the record can be clear, I am going to re-admonish him just so everything is clear. All right? So, Mr. Morales, you understand that you're charged with the offense of theft, $30,000 to $150,000 of a vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I believe he does, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I believe so.
Mr. Morales, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right. Here's my question. Number one, what is your first language?
Spanish.
All right, would you be more comfortable with an interpreter?
No.
All right, so how long have you been in the United States?
Well, I was 11 years old when my mom brought me here. I'm 42.
All right, did you go to school here?
Yes.
All right, so are you able to communicate with me in English?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you been able to understand everything?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so here's the question. Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So counsel,
Yes, Judge.
has he been given the advice of an immigration attorney?
Yes, Judge. So we've talked it over with Sarah May, and I mean, if the court wants me to go into all his charges and all the deplorable offense, like I can do that, Judge.
Yeah.
And
Well, did he have ample time to speak with Ms. May?
yes, he has.
All right. Has he been advised of the consequences of entering a plea of no contest or guilty as it relates to his immigration status?
Yes, Judge.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, and the denial of naturalization?
That is correct, Judge. Yes. it
Do you
does.
believe he understands the consequences of entering a plea in this case as it relates to his immigration issues?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Morales, have you had ample time and opportunity to speak with an immigration attorney about your status here in the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had ample time to speak to them about the consequences of entering a plea in this case as it relates to your immigration status?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that consequences include things such as deportation, exclusion from the United States, and the denial of naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the consequences of entering a plea of guilty or no contest as it relates to your immigration status here in the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And then the plea bargain agreement that you previously reached with the state will still stand. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you understand the plea bargain agreement you reached with the state was for a cap of 9 years, and the state was silent on your application. Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the state is now taking it in consideration. Cause number 2023 CR 4112. Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mhm. Mhm. You want him to-
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
All right. So have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state and defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report, state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No,
Any
Judge.
witnesses from the state or the defense?
None from the state, Judge.
All right, then the state is silent. Court will hear argument, defense.
Yes, Judge. So my client, he's 42 years old. He's from Nicaragua. He's got one prior felony conviction, and that was back in 2010. It was a 39-day jail sanction for possession of controlled substance. And then he had an evading arrest back in 2007, where he served 100 days jail. We are asking for probation, Judge. He's only been to prison one other time. He doesn't want to go to prison. Obviously, that was 13 years ago. He's 42 years old. He has 3 kids. 2 of which are adulted out, and he's got an 11-year-old that's still underage. He does work as a roofer. He's worked most of it, well, obviously he's worked all of his adult life. I have spoken to his boss on several occasions. He was not able to be here today, Judge. I can proffer that he would testify that he has a job rep for him, because he has told me numerous times that that he will give him a job because he's a good worker. He is not a citizen, so we talked about that with Miss May. He has a deferred adjudication on the controlled substance charge. He doesn't have a deferred adjudication on the theft charge, which is why we're applying for deferred adjudication on this particular charge, Judge, because it significantly will impact and it'll improve his chances of not being deported if he should be granted deferred adjudication. Notwithstanding, my client obviously regrets what he did. I don't know if you want to tell the court about what happened that day, and just kind of let her know. I'll
right,
defer to my client.
Okay, before we get to that, I don't see in the PSI report, excuse me, that he's ever been to prison. So has he been to
It's
prison?
state jail. It was state jail, Judge.
No,
39
it doesn't
days.
even show him being in prison for a state jail. The state jail, he was placed on deferred adjudication. Then it said probation expired.
2010.
So I don't see that. That one, that was 39 days, but not in the state jail facility because it was only 39 days. So that had to have been in the Bexar County Jail.
Well, but that's the only felony conviction that he has, Judge.
Okay.
So, I mean, I.
No.
Yeah.
It counts as a felony conviction, but I just didn't see it.
I mean, yeah, it was a short, I don't know if you were on.
I never been to prison, never been to DC, state jail. Oh, and like that.
All right, do you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ernesto Morales.
All right, is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, Your Honor. Like, to begin, like, I'm 42 years old. I got into this trouble with these people because I owed them some money. You know, I owed them like about almost $3,500. They had loaned me the money to get an apartment, you know, and get my life, you know. Well, the time came to pay them. I didn't have the money to pay them back, and I would just started working back at the roofing for a living, you know. I was like forced to do what I did, you know, in order to pay that money back.
What do you mean forced to do what you did? Did somebody have a gun to your head and say, hey, take the U-Haul?
Yes, pretty much. Because
I mean, it's not pretty much, did somebody do that?
yes, because I owe them the money, you know, I owe them $3,500.
All right, so here's the thing. If you commit an offense, I mean, I've never had this happen to me, but I know from law school and from the law, if you commit an offense, I mean, not killing anyone, but if somebody pulls a gun on your head, you know, holds a gun to your head and says, hey, you better take this U-Haul, then that's a defense.
That's pretty much.
So state, he's saying someone forced him U-Haul in the amount of $1,839.99. That includes $179.70 for the loss of use, $11.57 fee for mileage rate, $908.54 for the tow charge, and $740.18 for repairs. Now, with regards to Shane Drake, nobody's had any contact with him. They say monetary loss of the victim resulted in this offense for him. They say $0. But then they're saying the amount of the items stolen is $5,141.29. And they say that those items were recovered. All right, is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Morales?
Just for me, if I can address the court.
Sure.
So with respects to the, it'll be a conviction.
Yes.
Obviously that changes the immigration deportable offenses standards. We were originally asking for a deferred adjudication, on that particular charge, because it would make it less on his immigration status. I don't know if the court can reconsider.
No.
Let us continue.
I mean, he said his witnesses are not coming. No.
In court, Ernesto Morales faces a felony theft case after admitting he took a U-Haul worth over $30,000. The judge pauses everything when it's revealed he's not a U.S. citizen and carefully warns him about deportation risks. Then Morales shocks the room. He claims he was forced to steal because he owed money and feared for his life. The judge fires back. If that's true, that could be a legal defense. Question, defense, or excuse? Like, share, and subscribe.